Against the Ropes podcast.
Contra las cuerdas.
Against the Ropes podcast.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. AtR podcast. Gio Garcia here, alongside Christian Mosqueda. We're back. 273, I believe. Big heavyweights. You know what it is. Ton of action this upcoming Saturday, so we'll get right into it, Chris.
Yeah, a lot of action coming this weekend, Gio. Former pound for pounder, some future pound for pounders. Yeah, man, a lot of drama going on outside of boxing as well, Gio. So yeah, let's get it started.
Yeah, man, before we get into that huge fight, man, huge fight. You guys better be hyped for this one, man. You guys better be hyped, real boxing fans. Before we get into that fight Saturday, of course, Teofimo Lopez, Steve Claggett. Can't wait, Chris. Nah, just joking, but we'll get into that one too. Before that, man, Ryan Garcia, I know you guys heard the news. Suspended for 1 year, Chris. And that fight turns into a no contest, meaning Devin Haney is still, quote unquote, undefeated. I'm going to go ahead and read exactly what the suspension was about, the fines, all that stuff. But let's get your initial thoughts on this, Chris.
Yeah, no, first of all, it's been a roller coaster, man. Roller coaster for the Ryan Garcia, PED saga, Devin Haney. Like it's been nuts, bro. I think everybody can say and can agree that, man, these guys are both losers after this one. Devin Haney already had so much, hate going towards him, and with him, not accepting defeat, saying he's undefeated on social media. I think he's just been losing the few fans he had left. But yeah, man, big news. Ryan Garcia suspended 1 whole year. It's crazy, man. Again, it's been a crazy roller coaster of a ride.
All right, and here we go. Let's go ahead and read exactly what happens now. Ryan Garcia suspended 1 year following his positive tests. That majority decision victory over Devin Haney. Was it a majority? Who was that crazy judge? I think someone had it a draw or something. No, I forget, but crazy judging there.
Yeah, no, again, it's
Oh, I thought you had something to say. Anyway, we'll continue. All right. So, Garcia also forfeits his purse. The purse was $1.2 million that supposedly was guaranteed, and also you have to pay a $10,000 fine. So Garcia, 24 wins, 1 loss, of course, to Tank Davis, and 1 no contest, which is this one. Devin Haney is now 31-0 with that 1 contest. Chris, will we ever forget about that 1 NC there? Will we ever forget about it? Do you think people will consider Devin Haney undefeated? I don't know, man. Devin's been moving a little weird. Devin and Bill, ever since that loss happened. Before the loss, there was some alleged shady stuff supposedly that went on in Mexico back in the day, and with this whole stuff with Snack involved and Vada and Haney saying he's going to even pursue further legal action. Um, yeah, what are your thoughts on that? Devin Haney undefeated now, and he's saying he's going to retire for a couple years.
On paper, he's undefeated. Of course, they overturned it with the no contest, and on paper he is. But no, nobody can forget what happened. Mainly because we didn't imagine it happening in the first place. That circus was so topsy turvy that most people thought that Devin Haney was gonna box Ryan Garcia to an easy decision. Not the case. He got dropped multiple times. It was an exciting fight. Thanks to Ryan, for making it exciting. But yeah, no one's gonna forget that beat down. You cannot take it away from the fans' minds. Devin Haney should have just say, hey, I may be undefeated on paper, but I took that beating and I'm gonna bounce back. And that's something that the fans would have respected, but not the case, man. He's taking the little crazy road and saying he's undefeated, and yeah, that doesn't sit well with the fans.
Big Bro checking in. He says, should have been 2 years at least. Haney looking like a clown as well. So, Chris, in this whole thing, there's been a lot that's been going on. I don't know what's real, what's not. Hopefully one day we get the truth. But, there were some people tweeting that were saying that, oh, the New York State Athletic Commission initially didn't find anything rare, anything positive in the initial exams, and then they went back to it or something. Like, there's been so much that's been said, but what we know now is that Ryan Garcia is being suspended. He's been fined. He has to forfeit that 1.2 million that was supposedly guaranteed by Golden Boy / DAZN. Like I said, hopefully one day we know what exactly went down. At this moment, I guess you have to say Ryan Garcia is guilty. But as people were saying in the comments, we're never gonna forget that beating. Devin Haney took a beating. I think it's been a circus, and that's probably an understatement. It's been a circus, since February, March, Chris.
Yeah.
Fight happened in April, and for the past few months still, from both guys saying they hadn't been paid to, Golden Boy and other people from the zone saying, man, these guys don't know how it works. Like, it takes time, pay-per-views, this and that, to now this whole fiasco. We'll see what happens. It seems like we won't see Ryan at least for a year, and probably Devin Haney at least for a year or two as well.
Yeah, like you said it, Gio. This has been a masterclass in fake news, fast news, credible news, non-credible news. You don't know who's the most credible and who isn't. Again, both sides have tried to spin the news cycle whichever way to favor them. But like you said, it seems like we will never know. And if we get some kind of facts, it's always going to be with an asterisk. We don't know if it's credible at the end. We there's that Victor Conte. There's so much corruption in boxing that it's hard for the fans to fully believe it. But like you said, 1 year suspension. Ryan Garcia accepted it, so there has to be a little bit of culpability there for Ryan Garcia. He fully accepted it instead of trying to fight it. He's got money to get lawyers, so if he really is not guilty, you would think he would try to fight it. But like you said, 1 year for Ryan Garcia, 1 year of action. Sometimes a year out of the ring deal is good for boxers. It lets them kind of clear their head. It's definitely good news for Devin Haney, I'll tell you that, Gio, because if you take a beating like that, you need some time away from the sport until you fully come back somewhat well. But yeah, but sad news in a sense for Ryan Garcia. I've always said he's good for boxing, entertaining. A little off the rails the last couple of months, but he's always been an action-packed fighter.
Yeah, and we saw him recently. He was trying some stand-up comedy. I think he was over here at the Hustler Casino, here in the LA area, Gardena, with Jimmy Butler, basketball player, Neymar, football star, at a poker tournament. So he's out there. He's still in the limelight, in front of the cameras. People are always going to talk about him. And I mean, a year. Hopefully, he just stays out of trouble. We know he got arrested recently. They let him out. But yeah, we won't see Ryan Garcia for at least a year. And like I said, hopefully we get more details on everything that happened. As of now, this is what we know. He got caught with some banned substances. So that fight turns into a no contest now. As Chris was speaking, I couldn't help myself. I had to click on this article saying, not to change the topics, but Alexander Usyk vacating that IBF belt ahead of Joshua Dubois bout. So they're saying that title will now be on the line in that fight between Joshua and Dubois, which I didn't even know they were fighting. It says September 25 at London's Wembley Stadium. So I would think Joshua's favored in this, and he might be a champion again. So yeah, IBF kind of weird, huh? They always have weird stipulations and stuff and demands. So I don't know. I just thought I had to click on that article. I don't know if you want to give us your live thoughts.
Yeah, for me, it's just, again, it's the Devin Haney Ryan Garcia it builds a narrative for a future fight. And it's much bigger than what it was the first time around. You obviously, all this extra publicity, down the line, it could be a blessing in disguise for the pay-per-view numbers, which we have said Devin Haney struggles with. But as of right now, standing with the fans, the people that pay to see you fight, it's a bad move for Devin Haney. As for Ryan, hey, a year flies by fast. Like you said, Gio, only the outside distractions could derail him, in my opinion. Because yeah, his stock rose from that big win, but now it's a bit tainted.
I thought Chris was gonna give us his live reaction to Usyk. I know he's a Usyk fan, but I guess not. We'll stick to Ryan, Chris. We'll stick to Ryan. Once again, yeah, go ahead.
As for Usyk, I don't know if you heard the news, but Tyson Fury came out with a statement today, calling Usyk an amateur. So again, I that's the kind of talk I don't want to hear. If I want to get excited over a rematch, I want somebody that says like, "Hey, that was a tough bloke. Gave me a good fight, good little man. I'm gonna come back and beat him, man." That kind of language will get me excited. But hey, Usyk is very few, man. He's the man.
He's the man. He's very undisputed, or was very undisputed. I don't know about now, but yeah, here it goes once again. If you're just tuning in, Ryan Garcia, news broke out, I believe it was last week, suspended 1 year. Tested positive for Osterin, I believe is the substance. He'll have to forfeit his 1.2 million guaranteed purse for that fight. $10,000 fine as well by the commission. And he's not 25-1. He's 24-1 now with that one no contest. Devin Haney still quote unquote undefeated. And also there was some interesting news in that whole fiasco too, because we came here and spoke about the possible Devin Haney against Sandor Martin fight, that purse bid. Very, very low purse bid. Not surprised Devin Haney's stock goes down. Not that it was ever up there, but after that beating, stock went down. For that reason, he was saying he wanted to pursue further legal action against Ryan Garcia, saying that this is costing him money. This beating that he took to a cheater, he's saying. But I'm sure you heard he requested to be the champion of recess. WBC granted him that. And now it seems like Puello and Martin are going to fight for that title. They're saying Puello's being elevated. Another email champion, Chris. We love those email champions. But he's been elevated. And it seems like those two men are going to fight for it. And because Devin Haney can come back whenever he chooses to.
Yeah, again, in a sense, Gio, the year break off. Honestly, that would serve Devin Haney well, and he's put there the stipulation to rematch the winner of that. But Yeah, man. Again, it doesn't sit well with the fans, but hey, we'll see what happens. But yeah, we've seen fighters that come back from big beatings and they take tough assignments right away. And we've said it time and time again, like maybe not the most wise of choices, but yeah, like you said, Devin Haney's stock does go down, so he's gonna have to do something substantial on the way back, to get that stock up. Again, you said it's dropped. I agree tremendously. So yeah, man, Devin Haney, just taking L's, man, taking L's.
Yeah. And you know what? Let's go ahead and move on, man. Let's go ahead and move on. Obviously, we have to speak on that, but big fight happening this Saturday. I'm very excited for this one. Uh there aren't many fights on that calendar that I try to work my schedule around, but this June 29th is a must, man. If you're not excited for this, you're missing out. I don't know if you're a real boxing fan if you're not excited for this one, man. Juan Francisco El Gallo Estrada against Jesse Bam Rodriguez. Pound for pound fight. I'm sure many people have these guys on their top 10 pound for pound, and this is a big fight right here. Obviously, Estrada getting a little older. He's been through war, Soren Visay, Chocolatito, Carlos Cuadras, and I mentioned Chocolatito. Chocolatito was actually part of Jesse Bam Rodriguez, his camp. He's been sparring with Bam. He's actually getting a fight. He's getting ready for a fight. He's fighting in Managua, Nicaragua. Chocolatito is. That fight is July 12th, is going to be broadcast on ESPN. Chocolatito, 37 years old. He hasn't fought in a couple years. We'll look that up right now. We'll look that up on his box rec. 51-4. His opponent, Robert Barrera, 27-5. But hey, he has some history with Gallo. They fought twice, Chris, or was it three? I don't even remember anymore.
Three times.
Three times. So maybe he's giving Bam some secrets there, some tips, some advice, some suggestion. But big fight Saturday going down in Arizona.
Yeah, like you said, this one is gonna pin, guys that are in the pound for pound caliber status. Bam Rodriguez at 23 years young, man, already challenging, the big guys. You said it, they're a little bit past their prime, but they're still the very best around. And for a 20-year-old to a 23-year-old to test, himself against them now before they say they get even older, you gotta commend that. Again, you could correct me if I'm wrong, Gio, but I think Bam goes into this fight the favorite. But again, Gallo, 34 years old still, even though, like you say, he's been in wars, he still has a lot to offer, and it's not going to be easy for Bam, in my opinion.
Yeah, I would think he's a favorite. We can actually check the odds as well, but this is solid. Gallo's coming into this fight. 44 wins, 28 by knockout, 3 losses. He hasn't fought since 2022. Now, that inactivity can maybe be important, especially like you said, 34-year-old. He hasn't fought since December of 2022. His last opponent was Chocolatito. He won a majority. Actually, no, I'm sorry. Yeah, Chocolatito. He won a majority decision. That was also in Glendale, Arizona. Before that, you guys see the names there. Argy Cortez, Chocolatito in 2021, Carlos Cuadras in 2020. So he hasn't been too active, Chris. Essentially one fight per year. Last year he took it off, and now he's fighting Jesse Bam Rodriguez, who, the scary part, Chris, 24 years old. I mean, we don't even know if he's in his prime yet. He might be. He keeps getting better every single time. Jesse Bam Rodriguez, 19-0. 12 KOs. He's going to be close to home. He's from San Antonio, Texas. He last fought in December of 2023, so not too long ago. He got that very good win. A stoppage against Sonny Edwards. Looked very good in that one. And then he had another fight in 2023, 2022. Was probably his big year where he defeated Carlos Cuadras and Soren Visay. So he has some very good momentum going into this fight. He's been active. He's young, pound for pound talent. Yeah, I agree. I think he comes in as a favorite.
Like you said, Gio, we don't even know if Bam is in his prime, 23, 24 years old. The last time that I can think of a guy challenging an established champion like that. I know it's a far off comparison, but Canelo at 23 when he challenged Mayweather, some of these guys usually they wait 25, 26, like you said, to hit their peak. But Bam already believes in his powers and his skills. So again, I'm excited for this one. It's not going to be an easy assignment. You know that El Gallo is not going to just hand over, the throne just like that. He's the guy that's come out on top of the four kings the last couple of fights. We know that Tito maybe had a good outing in his last fight against Gallo, but on paper, Gallo's the man. So yeah, this is a great test for Bam. I'm looking at Gallo's record; he's never been knocked out. So if Bam can make a statement like that, boy, he would have to go in the annals of already the greats in that division alone, just by doing what he's doing, what he did to past opponents, and if he does this to Gallo. But again, it's a very tough assignment. Gallo, has been the man for 10 plus years, along with Chocolatito and the other two kings out there. So hey, it's gonna be a great fight.
Bam by stoppage in the 9th or 10th, says Big Bro. Ruben says, big fan of Gallo, but I thought he lost one of the Chocolatito fights. Very close fights. Big Bro says Gallo definitely lost the second Chocolatito fight. I pulled up the odds here, Chris, from this source here. It says Bam minus 450, Estrada plus 300. Let's see what the other sources here are saying. So pretty similar. This one here says Gallo Estrada plus 350, Bam minus 475. So yeah, it seems like the betting odds are in favor of Bam. I didn't think they were going to be so wide, to be honest, but yeah, like we said, he's younger. Let me go ahead and change that. He's younger. He has all the momentum, the activity in his favor. Estrada hasn't fought since 2022, so let's see if that plays a major factor in this fight. Chris, we're big fans of Bam Rodriguez. We have interviews with him. Cool dude, very quiet. I've had the privilege of meeting Estrada as well. I'm looking at the poster right now. I'll pull it up for you guys, but I kind of forgot I was there. What was that? So Visa against Estrada, the one that happened here at the Forum. Cool guy too, Estrada. Both guys quiet, not too much trash talking, but I think it's Bam time, man. I think he's a top pound for pound talent. He's 24 years old. He has those good victories already against Soren Visa, against Cuadras. He got a good victory in his last outing versus Sonny Edwards. So I don't want to drop my official prediction right now. I'll hold on to it. Let us know what you guys think in the chat. But I think I'm definitely favoring Bam Rodriguez.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised that the odds are that wide. Not saying that Bam isn't a favorite. He is a favorite, but minus 450, minus 500, that's a little wide. Unless the bookies know something that we don't know about Gallo. Maybe he tweaked his foot, something. But I would have probably had these odds at minus 250, minus 300, something closer to that. But yeah, man, I'm expecting Bam to come hungry again. Only 3 or 4 years ago, he was a 20-year-old. Again, most guys don't want to get in the mix with these champions until they're 25, 26, 27 maybe. So again, some names that come to mind, Gio, Tank Davis, Frank Martin. This is why we kind of rip on these guys so much, because they wait till they're near 30 to take on credible names. Bam is doing it at 24. So again, it shows why we have him so high. It shows them why, fans overseas in England, why they rate him so high, and why a guy like Eddie Hearns knows that he's a golden in the rough. Again, this kid is going to go down in the annals of history as one of the very best to ever grace that division, and he's been doing it in spectacular fashion. So I'm not surprised why you're going to go see this fight. This is probably going to take the honors for fight of the year, in my opinion.
Yeah, and it's that type of fight, man. Like I said, you guys better get excited. This is a pound for pound fight. We talked about Usyk and Fury. You know, that's a big one to determine, you know, who's on top of that pound for pound list. You know, that Better BF Bevo got postponed, so we got to wait a little bit for that one. But this is another one of those fights. You know, the number one guy fighting against the number two guy. You know, right now, Bam might be the number one guy, Chris. I know he's been hopping around those lower weight classes, collecting belts. And this is a big one. But let's go to some comments real quick. Big Bro says Gallo definitely lost the second Chocolatito fight. I believe Cuadras dropped in, so I can see Bam doing so as well. He says, shout out to H Money checking in. Salute to you. He says, who do you have? Estrada versus Rodriguez. Before we get into that, let me read the next comment. Estrada's a beast, though. He beat Rumvisa and Cuadras. I think he's trying to type before Bam, and he beat Chocolatito. Estrada, great champion. Chris, you want to go straight into your official prediction? How and why? This is going down in the tally, Chris. We pulled up our predictions last week. This is what it looks like. You're up by 1 right now on me. You got me by 1. So this is a big one right here. I think we can go straight into our predictions.
Yeah, I think we might get it right. I think you got to catch up and guess which way the person you pick is gonna win. But I'm gonna go with Bam Rodriguez.
All right,
man. Which way? If he knocks him out, that would be a statement. Again, that would be huge against a guy like Estrada that's dominated, that's been up there with the other three kings for so long. But I'm gonna say that he's a tough cookie. I'm gonna say he's not gonna wanna, just pass on the torch just like that. And if he does so happen to lose, he's gonna want to go the distance against the emerging Bam Rodriguez. So I'm gonna say decision, but to Bam Rodriguez.
All right. You're putting some respect on El Gallo's heart, chin, experience. I'm gonna have to agree 100%. Ruben says Bam surprised me when he whooped the dude from Thailand. I think Soren Visai is who he's referring to. He stopped Soren Visai. I was surprised. Soren Visai, to me, obviously everybody loves Chocolatito. Everybody loves El Gallo. To me, I thought for a large part of that era, Soren Visai was number one. Soren Visai defeated Chocolatito, stopped him the first time. He defeated, Estrada as well the first time. I believe it was this fight. No, I think this fight at the Forum was the second one. But for a while, Soren Visai was the top dog in that division. When we talk about the real four kings, right? Soren Visai, Estrada, Gonzalez, and Cuadras, to me, for a large part of that era, he was number one. Even though obviously Bam fought him when he was older, I still didn't think that Bam was going to be able to stop him, dominate him in the way that he did. So I definitely agree with that. Shout out to Clyde checking in. He says, hey, yo, mates. What's up, bloke? Checking in. Shout out to you. But yeah, I'm going with Bam too. I'm going decision too. I'm going to put some respect on Estrada's chin. He hasn't been stopped. They're close to the same size, you can say. I do think that Bam has the potential to, keep going up in weight classes. What is this, 115, I believe? I think Bam he's strong. He has great stamina, southpaw, great angles. Kind of reminds you of Lomachenko with that footwork and the angles. Man, I'm gonna say same. Bam by decision. I think it's going to be very tough to stop Estrada. I think a lot of those rounds are going to be close, but I think little by little, I think Bam will separate himself. I don't think it'll be that close, maybe 8-4, 9-3. 8-4 I know is a little closer, but yeah, I got Bam decision. It's my cumpleaños way, is it? Hey, we all got to sing happy birthday to Clyde, man. He's turning 30. He's finally 30. We all got to sing to him, all right, before the podcast ends. But yeah, I got banned by decision.
Hey, and that's the thing. Like right now, we're saying the decision, but I think a part of us goes like, man, what if he knocks him out? We're gonna look like fools, and we didn't give him enough credit. But like you said, we're giving Guy a little bit of credit. You know, he's the younger of those kings. He's 34. I remember that first fight that he fought Chocolatito. He was younger. He was younger, obviously fighting an in prime Chocolatito. So he lost that first one on the scorecards. The second one was more competitive. I think Gallo won that second one, in my opinion. And this last one, Chocolatito or Gallo won on paper, but I think Chocolatito kind of won on, you know, on the fans and the fans' mind. But yeah, Gio, that fight where Bam Rodriguez knocked that sword, I don't think anybody predicted that. I think we were hopeful that he would win, but you just never know when you go up against the establishment, the established kings. And if we remember, Gio, the reason you had Rungasai rated so high was because he was the guy that not just gave Chocolatito his first defeat, but he beat him in impressive fashion in a knockout, something that nobody had ever done to Chocolatito, and it was in the fourth round. And at that time, Chocolatito was the number one consensus pound for pound fighter. So he earned it. He earned his status. So for a guy like Bam to do it early on in his 20s, we just didn't see it coming. So I'm gonna still say decision, but man, I would not be surprised if Bam knocks him out.
Yeah, and going back to your comment, Gallo defeated Chocolatito by split and by majority. So that's how close those fights were. Going back to Bam, even this last fight with Sonny Edwards undefeated. Everybody in the UK was saying, "Oh man, this guy, he's a great boxer. He's elite. He's gonna outbox Bam. Bam's not gonna be able to hang with him." Bam figured him out quick, and he stopped him. He stopped him late in that fight. So even that was super impressive. And Bam was so confident. He was even getting a little cocky in there. You remember Robert Garcia was telling him, "Hey man, like settle down, do your work. Enough of the taunting stuff, So very, very confident right now, Bam Rodriguez. I think for Estrada to be able to win, I think he's gonna have to earn Bam's respect early in the fight. I think he can win a lot of those earlier rounds, but I think he has to land something that will make Bam hesitate. We haven't seen it thus far in Bam's career. He looks very comfortable. He can fight on the back foot, going forward. He can brawl at times. He's a very good boxer. He's hard to hit. To me, he's already probably top 6, top 7 pound for pound. I think with this win, if he gets it, that'll solidify him as that. But very talented guy, man. Don't sleep on this fight. Saturday, June 29th is going down in Arizona. The Zone. We'll be tuned in. And like I said, man, if you're not excited for this, you better get excited. This fight is for real boxing fans. There's a lot of bigger fights on the mainstream, bigger names. But, these are the fights that, we get excited for. No Diddy, Chris. These are the fights that we get excited for, man, when we see them, when they announce them, during the weigh-ins, during the face-offs, ring walks. This is the type of fights we need. So very excited for this one.
And Gio, we're giving Bam all the credit in the world, but what happens if Gallo wins? What if Gallo, pulls out the upset? He is the established champion. What would it mean for him and his legacy if he were to knock out the emergent Bam Rodriguez?
Hey, we may need to start, rearranging that list of 4 kings, man. That's what that means. To me, going back to, the 4 kings in the lighter divisions, Cuadras didn't beat many of them. So I think by default, he has to be number 4, even though he defeated, who did he defeat? Was it Chocolatito that he beat? Cuadras? I can't remember. Or Estrada. He beat one of them. Or Soren Visa. I'm all mixed up, man. They fought each other so many times, all those guys. And that's why we give them the respect that they deserve. But I think by default, Cuadras number 4. And, 1 through 3, you could probably change those guys up. But number 1, probably Chocolatito. I think he's the only one that probably reached that number 1 pound for pound status in his prime. And then number 2, number 3, you can put Sorvisa or Estrada, whoever, and you can't be mad at that list. But if Estrada is able to pull this off, 10 years older than Bam, couple years inactive. If he's able to pull this off, I think that looks great for his legacy.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. Yeah, I agree. I don't remember who Cuadras won, but I know he beat somebody, but nobody remembers that really. So by default, he's Tommy Hearns. I agree that I think Chocolatito is the you gotta give him Sugar Ray Leonard status right now. But if Gallo is able to, somehow pull off the upset and beat Bam, he makes a case. He has to make a case because the passing of the torch is something that always happens in boxing. But if you're able to stop Father Time for a little bit and tell the next generation, yo, hold up, it's still my time for a little while longer, you got to get your flowers. So again, I think the odd makers are being a little disrespectful to Gallo, but maybe it's because they know how good Bam Rodriguez is. So I can't wait for this fight. In my opinion, it's gonna be much more competitive come fight night, but we're gonna have to wait and see. Bam might just be that great.
Yeah, so he beat Cuadras beat Soren Visai.
Yeah.
I think I remember rewatching this fight. It was a technical decision. This is right here. Cut over Cuadras' left eye. Did that get a point? I think that's why they stopped the fight too. But he did beat Soren Visai. He lost the majority of those big fights against the other guys. But guess what? He went the distance with Jesse Bam Rodriguez in 2022. So look, if Jesse's able to stop Cuadras, that's a big legacy fight right there. Let's go to some comments real quick, Chris, before we move on. Some of the comments here by the people checking in. Zero says, hello, folks. Happy Tuesday. Checking in the comment section. He also says, or she, I don't know. Might be a she. Or both. You never know nowadays, right? Bam will get a late 9th round TKO, says Zero. Clyde says Bam wins UD. Ruben B wishing Clyde a happy birthday. Damn, give him a kiss, bro. No Diddy. Mad Dog H. Ya bésalo, cabrón. Mad Dog checking in. Zero says Gallo's amazing, but I'm just high on Bambino, he says. Mad Dog also saying I got banned by KO in the championship rounds. Fight of the year. I don't think Gallo has the power to hurt Bam, says Zero. All right, and then he says Cuadras didn't beat any of the top guys. Yeah, that was the early win against Soren Visai for Cuadras. Cuadras looks young. JD from American Me in that photo. Mad Dog throwing those jabs at Cuadras. Yeah, it's funny because, Cuadras 35. He's been fighting forever. It seems like he's retired, but nah, he's still out there. He's still out there fighting. He fought last year in November. But yeah, man, I guess it looks like we're both going Bam. Decision, unanimous, split, majority, whatever, decision for Bam. Much respect to El Gallo, but yeah, I think this is Bam's moment, man. It's gonna be very, very hard to stop that.
Yeah, again, Gio, like we're giving Gallo some respect, but again, Bam Rodriguez, like you say, knocked out Thor. He's put out hurting on some of these four kings. So again, this is just another test for him. He believes in his skills to be fighting. Already at 24. Started late 22. 23, now 24. So yeah, man, he believes in his skills this young in his career. But yeah, man, he's taking it to the four kings, and like you said, he had Chocolatito as sparring. That's probably a fight that might go down if the money is right. If Chocolatito at 37 is up for it, to do it under the bright lights against a master like Chocolatito, even past his prime, would be something I'm sure that Bam wants to do. So he's got to get past, Gallo Estrada, and again, it's no easy feat, fighting somebody that's been at the top for this long. So yeah, man, I'm excited for this fight. I'm saying I want it to go the distance because I'm trying to get all 12 rounds. But hey, if it ends sooner, I can't wait to see that Bam Rodriguez celebration because that's where he becomes just like us, human, normal kid, celebrates like if it's his first win. So yeah, nothing short of normal for this kid. He's that talented.
All right, and let me pull up this poster that I told you guys I would pull up. I actually got it signed by Soren Visa, if you can see it there. I didn't get it signed by Gallo. I kind of regret that now. I did take a picture with Gallo, but this was a great card. Your boy Jesse Vargas was on there. Sorry for that reflection of the light. Jesse Vargas against Humberto La Zorrita Soto knocked him out. I remember. Danny Roman against TJ Doheny, and then our boy Sims Jr. was also on that card. What year does it say on there? I can't. 2019, April of 2019. So that's how big I was on Soren Visa. Look at all those faces on there. I didn't get it signed by anybody but him.
You didn't get this Jesse signature? Come on, dog.
Who the fuck is that guy? But yeah, actually, Estrada ended up winning this fight. I think he fought Soren Visa southpaw for a lot of that fight too. That was the rematch, and he pulled it off. But yeah, man, that's what it is. Looking forward to it, and that's going down this Saturday, as I said. April, this guy, June 29th. I'm still stuck in April, man. That Ryan Garcia effect. But look, I want to show you guys this right here. This is the poll that we posted earlier today. Who wins on Saturday, Gallo or Bam? I don't know what the results are. You guys don't know what the results are. I'm about to click my prediction right now. 206 votes. Let me be the 207th vote right here. I'm gonna go ahead and click on it.
Oh, let me guess the percentage though, Gio. Let me guess before
All right,
you.
let me hurry up because it's gonna pop up on your screen soon.
I'm gonna guess 65% for Bam.
All right. The people already saw it. Man, you're gonna be surprised by this, man. You're gonna be surprised by this. You ready?
Oh.
All right. 72% Bam Rodriguez, 28% Gallo Estrada. Wow. I'm actually very surprised. That means what, about let's just say 30%, about 60 people were saying that that Gallo is gonna win. Does that sound about right? Wow. That's crazy. 60 people out of the 200 plus.
Yeah. I mean, not
man, a lot of faith in
Bam
right
got
there.
a lot of fans. I think this is a 60-40 kind of fight, but I was giving that extra 5% because I thought people really are really high on Bam. But this is to me a 60-40 fight. What do you think, Jim?
What was that? Can you repeat that?
Do you think this is a 60-40 fight or a 55-45? How close do you see this fight?
Man, probably. Yeah, I think 60-40 is a good number. 65-35 maybe in favor of Bam, but I don't know about 72-28. That's a little wide.
A little wide, man. It was a little disrespectful, but
yeah. What will you say?
Yeah, I would say 60-40. Gallo on a great night, 55-45. But yeah, again, you can't discount Gallo. I guess it's the inactivity that you mentioned earlier, Gio. Usually these champions, you want them to stay busy, but he is 34 years old, getting up there. He's fought, some of the biggest fights already. Some of the biggest money fights are a little behind him, but I'm sure he saw this opportunity with Bam, and he knows that this is the up and coming kid, and catch him before he gets a little bit older, before you get a little older. So, we've had Shane Mosley on our podcast, and that's the same sentiments he had when he fought Canelo. He's all like, "Man, this young kid ain't beat me." So I'm sure Gallo goes in with this fight saying he beat those two other guys, but those two guys are older and they're not me. So I'm expecting again a competitive fight.
Do you think the fact that Chocolatito was in Bam's camp, they were sparring, they were training together, that's got to be a plus for Bam, right? +1 right there. That's the guy you want in your camp. Guy who fought Estrada 3 times.
Oh yeah, definitely. This guy, both guys are gentlemen of the sport. Both Bam and Tito. But I'm sure there's some things, some movements that he showed him. Oh, he does this punch. Oh, he throws this really well. Oh, he does this. And again, Bam is a student of the game, so he's going to be absorbing all of that. So yeah, again, everything is looking like it's going to favor Bam Rodriguez, but again, he has, Gallo has something that Bam doesn't have as much yet and as experience. So we'll see what happens when they get in come Saturday.
Yeah, and I'm looking at the undercard right here. Shout out to our boy Gabriel Morataya, El Maestro. He's on the undercard. He's fighting against Carlos Fontes. Good record, 23-3. That's a good fight. 11-0, Gabriel Morataya. I also see Sonny Edwards on here against Adrian Curiel. This should be a pretty good fight right here. Sonny Edwards went from fighting Bam to now on his undercards, trying to get some exposure out here in the States. But, decent little card here. I'll be tuned into our boy Gabriel Murataya, brother of Raymond Murataya. And we'll see how Sonny Edwards comes back. And obviously the big fight right there between Bam and Gallo, Chris. So, yeah, excited for this one. Saturday, June 29th.
Shout out to the Maestro, Gay right there. Shout out to him. He campaigns in the same division, if I'm not mistaken, Gio, as Naoya Inoue. So, not saying it's going to happen, but you keep winning. They need a mandatory. You never know, Gio. So, you gotta stay prepared because, again, you never know when that, you get that big fight against that top name, and that's your chance. But yeah, man, shout out to Maestro Murataya, man, just doing big things. He is a preschool teacher, but he's a killer, outside that sport circle.
All right, and I think there's a good time to move on because we have a good question here. Ruben says, which card has a better undercard between Top Rank and the Zone? So I'm gonna go ahead and pull up the Zone one. We can move on to. Oh man, what a great fight! What a great opponent for Teofimo Lopez, Steve Claggett, whoever that is. But here's the undercard for that fight. We have Robesi Ramirez against Brandon Leon Benitez with a record of 21-2. Robesi 13-2. Elvis Rodriguez also under 15-1 from the Dominican Republic. We have Emiliano Vargas now 10-0. He reached double digits in wins against a guy who's 9-8-2, ranked 641, Chris. Wow. Nico Ali Walsh is also on there, 9-1. His opponent also 9-1. So some good names on there. Some good names. Nico Ali Walsh, Emiliano Vargas, Elvis Rodriguez, Robesi Ramirez, and of course Teofimo Lopez. How does that undercard sound, Chris?
Off of name recognition, it sounds pretty good. Nothing crazy that pops out, but like based on names, it's a good card.
All right, and look, man, let's get straight into this guy, man. I said I was gonna do some research on him. I wanted to find out who this guy is, Chris. Steve Claggett. I didn't do any research. I didn't waste my time. I'm gonna be honest, but I can go ahead and show you the box rec. 38 wins, 26 by KO, 7 losses. He's been stopped once. 35 years old, representing Canada. Does it say his ranking on here? Might say it down here, but he's coming off a few victories actually. Look at that. He hasn't lost since 2021. He's got a good
Streak.
Good streak right there. Some good momentum coming in. I mean, he's still gonna get stopped, but I mean, I feel like that's all you need to know about Steve Claggett, Chris. I don't know if you did any research on him. You have anything that you want to tell us about Steve Claggett?
No, I'm not gonna lie. I didn't do enough research on him. Teofimo calls him the only guy that decided to step up. You mentioned like a nice little run that he's had. He's active. That's something you want to see from fighters. If they're gonna challenge for a title, I mean, let them be active. And since 2021, many fights, many wins, but this is a different ball game. So yeah, he's ranked 8 by BoxRec, but he is 35, Gio. So again, this guy's gonna have to, sneak into the Camboso's, body and to even have a prayer. And you better hope Teofimo is like so distracted with outside problems because, yeah, man, I don't see this kid having a chance.
Yeah, I don't see how you name, how this guy's 8, you said? I mean, that don't even make
Yeah.
sense. At 140? I mean, that's crazy.
By BoxRec.
That's wild. Like, Boxer be having some funny rankings though. But look, this saw Teofimo Lopez coming into the fight. His last uh his last victory came against Jermaine Ortiz, who had that lone loss to Lomachenko. That was in February of 2024. That was this year. Wow. I didn't realize he had fought this year. No disrespect, but that fight in 2023 was a big one of the best in his career. Josh Taylor, who was undefeated at the time, uh, Teofimo was able to defeat him convincingly. Before that, Sandor Martin by split decision. Many people weren't happy with that one. Pedro Campa, TKO. 2021 was when that loss to Cambosos came by split decision. Before that, he had some good wins. Lomachenko, Komi, Nakatani. So we'll see what Teofimo Lopez we get. Someone in the comments earlier mentioned that Teofimo usually, fights to the level of his opponents. If he's fighting a really good opponent, he steps it up. He looks great more often than not. And when he knows he's gonna win, he seems to struggle a little bit. He doesn't put on the show that we're used to. So we'll see what Teofimo Lopez we get. I can drop my prediction right now. This shouldn't be a tough one to decide. I think this is a no-brainer. I think he wins by stoppage. I think he should get a KO. This is what this fight is for. This is a fight for Teofimo to shine. And I don't expect anything less from Teofimo Lopez.
Yeah, easy win for Teofimo. I'm trying to see if I can separate myself and maybe steal a point here. I'm trying to see if there's anything here that makes me think that Steve Claggett will go the distance. He's been knocked out once out of 7 fights. So he's got some resistance. So I'm gonna say, and I might be wrong, but I'm gonna say the distance.
Wow.
I'm gonna try to risk it. I'm gonna risk the biscuit a little bit, Joe, to try to separate myself. But I'm gonna say Teofimo's gonna have a bit of an off night, like you said, Gio. He does tend to fight to the level of his opponents, or maybe he doesn't train fully. I think of a Mike Tyson when he fought a Buster. He's like, I'm gonna beat this guy easy. I don't need to train fully. So I'm gonna say that Teofimo has an off night, but he still wins. But he goes the distance. So I'm gonna say there. Your boy Steve Claggett surprises you a little bit, Gio.
Wow, Chris, I think you just did the impossible. I think you just did the impossible, Chris. You got me excited for this fight, Chris. You got me excited. I want to watch now. I'm intrigued now because, I'm going KO. You're going decision. Oh, man, the Teofimo looks bad in this one. Man, I'm going to be so upset. We spoke about it last week. Teofimo, friend of the show. We got a signed glove about Teofimo right here, right behind me. I know it's a little blurred out, but, cool guy. Off camera, very cool guy. Sometimes I know we get a little frustrated watching him. Like we said, sometimes he fights to the level of his opponent. But Chris, I'm watching now. I might have it on my computer on the side. Of course, we're gonna be watching Bam against Gallo, but I'm actually kind of excited now about this fight.
Yeah, again, like we have Teofimo highly rated because of the stuff he did. The run that he had to Ascension. He was one of those guys that just separated himself from some of his counterparts that he had in the amateurs. Like as soon as he hit the pro games, he was just blazing in it. He was throwing out the takeover. He was throwing out that that phrase, and it felt like it. And what he did to Comey, what he did to Josh Taylor, I was like, man, this guy could be it. But again, it's all mental, and so again, it's what kind of Teofimo you get come fight night. Because if it's a focused, undistracted Teofimo Lopez, he can give hell to anybody. So there was even a moment where I was like, hey, he might be the most exciting fight for Terrence Crawford, but as of late, he hasn't. So yeah, it comes down to what kind of Teofimo do you get on a given night, and I think a guy like Steve Claggett doesn't motivate him, to train to the fullest. So I'm gonna go with the decision, Gio. I might be wrong though. He might knock him out in one round, so we'll see.
Let's go to a comment here. Ruben says, still hard to believe Cambosos beat Lopez. Oh man, tell me about it. I think I said last week or a couple weeks ago, I didn't even rate Cambosos maybe a top 5, at 135, even when he had all the belts. I'm like, this guy's probably not even in the top 5. I can't believe he won the belts. No disrespect. I like Cambosos, outside of the ring. On the ring, I just don't think he has it like that. But Big Bro says still has had the biggest fumble of momentum in a while after the Loma fight. Yeah, losing to Cambosos, looking a little shaky against some of the guys that he should have stopped. But maybe that Josh Taylor fight brought him back a little bit. So we'll see. We'll see what Teofimo we get, man. It's crazy. We spent, I don't know, 10 minutes on this. I didn't think this was going to be possible, Chris. I mean, he's fighting a guy that nobody knows, Steve Claggett.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Hey, we were able to speak on it for about 10 minutes. So not bad.
I was gonna say, Gio, show me somebody that predicted Cambosos knocking down Teofimo Lopez in the first round, and I'll show you a liar. Because ain't nobody predicted that, man. Nobody predicted that. But hey, we'll see what Teofimo brings this Saturday.
Hey, let me tell you this too. Show me anybody in the world who thinks Steve Claggett's gonna win this fight. I mean, that's the biggest liar in the world.
There's somebody out there, man. There's somebody out there. But yeah, I'll say now, if Claggett, becomes Cambosos 2.0 and somehow does something, I'll call that the upset of the year right now, just because we have no idea who he is. But yeah, man, we'll see. We'll see what happens Saturday.
Look at the odds, Chris. Teofimo Lopez minus 1,100.
Yeah.
Minus 1,100. Steve Claggett plus 650. That's disrespectful, man. If I'm putting money on Steve Claggett, I want to make a lot more money than that.
Yeah, man,
come on, man.
Plus 1,200 at least.
Come on, man. What's up with these? Let me see what how the other guys have it. Let's see. FanDuel. Let's see if they even have this up. Yeah, minus 1,200 on this one, plus 710 for Claggett. All right, a little better. I'm just saying, man, if I'm putting money on Steve Claggett, I better make a ton of money. Plus 7 something, it's not enough.
Yeah. 11, bet $11 to win $1? Nah, man. Mejor me quedo con mis $11, man. Come on, Tio. But yeah, man, we'll see what happens. Again, I think that's a very good card on name recognition. But yeah, man, still the fight to see has to be Bam and Gallo Estrada.
Yeah, there you go. And Ruben's saying, does Claggett have any power? Look, he has 38 victories, 26 by KO. That looks pretty good, right? If you look at his resume, I mean, you probably won't recognize any names. His last fight, he won by second round KO right there. This was in January of this year, but hey, we're not the right people to ask. I'm straight up. I did no research on this guy. I was not interested in Steve Claggett. Never watched him fight, never heard of his name until now. But let me tell you, he's not winning this fight, man. Come on.
He's Canadian, man. I mean, Canada's not known for boxers, man. They're known for their hockey, but shout out to Thunder Gaddy, man. He's probably Canada's most action friendly fighter. So we'll see, man. Maybe Steve Claggett, shows us something that we don't know. So let's go.
Oh man. Big Bro says the fake over, not even his family members believe he's winning this. Talking about Steve. He has to be at least plus 1,000, he says. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
Those are
come on, man. You gotta make the people want to bet for Steve Claggett, man. 650, eso no ni para las tortillas, compa.
Come on, man. Right. What was Ryan? Ryan was like what? Plus against Haney? It was around the same, no? Like plus 400 or something. It was pretty wide in that fight. I saw it earlier. I just can't remember exactly what it was, but anyway, that's all I got for your boy Steve Claggett, Chris. Man, I can't wait to never say his name again on this podcast, Chris. Next week is all he's getting, and that's the last time I'm gonna say Steve Claggett.
Let's make it interesting, Gio. If for some reason Steve Claggett somehow pulls off the momentous upset, you got to wear a Steve Claggett shirt.
I will make it. You know, they'll probably ask me how to spell it. I might just make it with a marker, man. Nobody's heard of Claggett before, but if Steve Claggett wins, you will never see this Teofimo Lopez glove ever again in the background. I'm putting it away. And we might not speak. Hey, we're saying we might not speak of Ryan's name for the next year or so, or Devin Haney's, because they're not going to be fighting. We might as well put Teofimo in that list.
No, let's not bust a Tim Bradley now, Gio. You don't want to go down Tim Bradley road, man. Hey, that's a nice glove. Let's keep that. But I agree with the shirt.
I'm not retiring. The homie didn't even pay up anyway, man. It's crazy.
Shout out to Timmy, man. Shout out to Timmy. We know he watches.
You know, that's where he gets all his intel from, right here.
He's taking notes right now as we speak. I see you, Timmy.
The Desert Storm.
Yeah. All right, Gio. Before we get on out of here, I know we got to wrap up soon, but I got to ask you again. We talked about Ryan Garcia, the Devin Haney. It's just we don't even know what to believe with all these news that come up. In your personal opinion, and it's just your opinion, you could be wrong, could be right, but in your opinion, do you think he cheated?
Ryan Garcia. First of all, I'm never wrong, Chris, okay? So don't ever say that again. I'm just joking, but do I think he cheated? I mean, he tested positive for something, so I gotta say yes. Did he do it on purpose? Did Snack do some shady stuff? Did Vada do some shady stuff? I think it's a big possibility as well, but I like to go with the facts. The facts is he tested positive for something. And like I said, hopefully we at some point, get all the details. I'm not ready to jump out the window and defend this guy or defend that guy. I understand it's a lot of shady stuff that has happened with Victor Conte, the owner of Snack, who, by the way, also helps provide these tests for VADA. Well, how convenient, a known cheater in the sport is helping, quote unquote, clean up the sport. That doesn't make sense to me, but for now, I gotta say yes. He got caught with something. If we get more details, then, the story might change. But I'm just going to go with the facts. Clyde says Haney tested positive for an ass whooping. But yeah, that's my answer. I try to keep it as politically correct as I could. But again, I don't have any affiliation to anybody. So we know what we know. And we know that he tested positive. And he's banned for a year. So, yeah. I don't know why Andy was dancing, though, celebrating. I mean, what a loser. What a loser, that guy. These guys are so corny, man. You still, like Clyde says, that ass whooping. We all saw it.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think there's so much shady stuff going on, by the people that administer, the tests. You can't. There's no such thing as an honest thief, Gio. So that's one problem. And again, like you said, we don't have all the facts, but the only fact that we do have is that he did, fail a test and he is being suspended for it. Yeah, I again, this is just my opinion. I don't think he did it, with the knowledge. Maybe he took something that he thought was, that didn't contain that. Maybe somebody told him that. But the fact is that it came up in your system. So, I agree with you. He got caught with something. But yeah, again, that that beating is there. I feel like it was the beating, that Devin took was because he just couldn't get away from that left hook. No amount of, enhancers are gonna help you. You have to have sound defense. But again, we'll see what happens. But 1 year off for both of these guys, one guaranteed for Ryan. Devin Haney says he's gonna take a whole year off. I think he should take it. But yeah, man.
Wow,
That's
interesting.
That's my opinion.
Yeah, there's so many moving pieces to the story. I think if you say yes or if you say no, I can't argue against it. So we'll see. Hopefully we get an update soon. Big Bro says this summer is nothing but funerals for Canadians. Theo Baquet. Oh. Shout out to Canada, man. Y'all taking all types of L's. All types. They not like us. But we can't unsee the beatdown, says Clyde. Maybe the Coca-Cola was tainted, he says. Man.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Hey, Ryan. So Ryan had to give up back. He had to give that money to Golden Boy. Is that correct, Joe?
Correct. Yep. That's what it's saying. He had to forfeit his purse, 1.2 million guaranteed. I don't know what happens with the pay-per-views.
Yeah.
Pay-per-view still happens, so you can't take that credit away from him. I don't know.
I think Ryan said, like, if I had to give the money back, if that fight never happened, if it's a no contest, they got to give the ticket holders their money back too. So
there you go.
He's got a point there, but hey, man, hey, it is what it is.
Class says, just to clarify, he was not talking about the soda. All right, well, Chris, I think that's all we got. Let's pull up the fight calendar real quick. There is some stuff going down in what's going on here? Are you freezing? Why are you freezing on me? Let's try to refresh that. Man, maybe someone from Canada is over here hacking our stuff. Maybe they didn't like that comment. But July. Let's go to July. Obviously, we know what's going down for the end of. For some reason, my thing doesn't want to scroll anymore. Let's try it again. Man, we might have kept it too real, Chris. We might have kept it too real with our takes. My computer has been hacked by the powers that be. Shakur Stevenson, July 6th. Artem Harutianyuan. Never heard of him, but he's fighting July 6th, New York, New Jersey, ESPN Plus. Oshaki Foster defending his title against Robson Conceição on that undercard. Keyshawn Davis is on that undercard. Abdullah Mason on that undercard. And yeah, we'll just keep it at that because this thing is messing up. But whatever.
Bam Rodriguez finally getting what is that September? Is that a Saturday date?
I believe so. July 6th. Yeah. Because July 4th, I believe, is on a Thursday. So, hey, they finally gave him a weekend.
Moving on up. There's no way people can fall asleep, man. They're out partying at that hour. So, no way.
All right. Let's go to some last comments here. Does he still get to keep the millies he bet on himself? Hey, they're saying that a lot of people were trying to get their money back from the betting sites and all that. I highly doubt it, man. I highly doubt they get their money back. Ruben, no, we don't watch UFC. I don't think I've ever watched a full UFC fight in my life. No disrespect, just not my cup of tea. Ruben says he likes it, but boxing will always be his number one. Y'all gonna cover lip and boxing this summer? We should. I don't even know when the Olympics start. I'm not gonna lie.
They start on July 26th, so in 31 days.
All right.
Yeah, we'll look into it, man. Some of these guys are gonna be future Lomachenko's, future Usyk, so we'll keep an eye. We'll see when they get into the deeper rounds. Yeah,
we should make an effort to do that because I'll be honest, I've never really paid attention to Olympic boxing for one reason or another. I don't even pay attention to the sports I like. I don't even watch the basketball Olympics. I'll be honest. I mostly watch random stuff like the runners, the track and field, swimming, gymnastics, even. Not gonna lie, but we should make an effort to watch the boxing because those are the future stars. So we can be the first ones to cover it, Chris. Be the first to put y'all on. Last comment here. Artem is the one that gave Frank Martin a tough fight before getting KO'd by Tank. Says Big Bro with the inside scoop. Clyde says, we don't watch that trash. Full disrespect. He said, with all due disrespect. Clyde. All right. And I think that was it. I don't know if we missed any of these comments. Sorry if we did. Alon's so amazing. Want to smoke with H Money. He said, you ducked me. I don't know, man. They're beefing over there. But anyway, good time to get out of here. We're about an hour 12 in. Thank you, mates, for tuning in. We'll be back next week to break it all down. Bam Rodriguez, Gallo Estrada, Teofimo Lopez, Steve Claggett, the undercards. Hopefully we get some big action. Huge card, Chris. Not big, huge. And I don't even think this is pay-per-view, right? I think this is on normal DAZN. I'm going to pay for DAZN for the weekend. I haven't had DAZN in a while. I don't think I've had it all this year, but maybe have. I don't remember. But I'm definitely paying for DAZN for this fight. It's worth it. Great fight. Do not miss it, man. Spread the word. These are the type of fights that we ask for as boxing fans. We're getting yeah, better support, man, one way or another. Go watch it. Go talk about it. Go tweet about it. Go post threads or whatever you do. Facebook. This is a big fight, man. Spread the word.
Again, guys, thank you guys for being a part of the podcast. Thank you guys for dropping your comments and stuff and just keeping it going. But yeah, man, I'm excited for this fight come Saturday. And it's gonna show who the man still is, or if there's a new up and coming force in that division. As for Ryan, it's only a year, man. Time flies. Let's go.
Last one here. UFC is a Drake and Diddy of the sports world. Wop, 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 wop. Take your L, UFC. They always do. Nothing but fools on top of each other spooning. No Diddy, says Big Bro. Oh man, after 9, that chat starts getting.
Yeah, it gets good. The starts to kick in, man.
They start throwing haymakers out there.
For real. They say, man, I lost all the early rounds, man. Going out on top.
All right, man. Well, that's it. That's all we got, man. We'll be back next week. Thank you guys for keeping it lit. Thank you guys for checking in live. Shout out to you guys who will be watching or listening to the replay as well. We'll be back soon, blokes. Let's go, mates.
Oh. Let's go. No pasa nada, Ryan.
See y'all soon. Peace.
Hola amigos, soy Juan Francisco Estrada. Quiero mandar un saludo para mis amigos de Contra las Cuerdas. Échenle muchas ganas. Un abrazo, muchas bendiciones.
Shout out to Against the Ropes. You know what mine is? Let's box, bitches. It's almost fight night.
Shout out to Against the Ropes. Thank you for the support. Keep doing your thing. You're doing a great job. So thank you and best wishes.
Huge shout out to Against the Ropes.
Shout out to Against the Ropes. Thank you guys for the interview and hope to see you guys soon.
Against the Ropes, always doing the right thing.
Shout out to Against the Ropes, man. I appreciate you guys for having me, taking the time out y'all day.
Against the Ropes, #1.
Freddie Roach.
Thank you very much.